Ja, hallo und willkommen zurück zu einer neuen Folge The Forgotten City. Wir haben fast alles gelöst, außer welcher Gott da verantwortlich ist. Ich denke, Diana wird es nicht sein, auch wenn es ihr Bogen ist. Ich denke eher Obwohl. Aber ich weiß es natürlich nicht. Okay, wir kommen ja nicht nochmal in den Palast scheinbar rein. So, wer bist du? Du bist doch Julia.
Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. Galerius just saved my life. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest.
Was ist eure
You
Geschichte?
mean my life story?
Ja.
Oh, well,
Ach, was, das hatten
I
wir schon
grew
mal.
up as part of a big family in Rome.
Sie war die
Me and
unverheiratetbare
3
Tochter.
older
Ja.
sisters.
Ich erinnere
Our
mich.
father, it was a good life. We must have had 100, but they fell on deaf ears. My employer told me to grab what value. I remember diving into the river and
Tut mir leid, das zu hören.
thank you. I consider myself fortunate.
So, die Frage lassen wir mal aus. Was hältst du von der goldenen
Our
Regel?
priestess Equitia once told me it's the God's way of creating a city without sin. But if that's the case, then whichever God is responsible for it didn't think it through. I mean, all it really does is make bad people better at hiding their sins. And good people too frightened to stand up for themselves. I've seen Malleolus, Claudia, and Domitius make grown men cry. Romans, they don't cry easily. They've never physically hurt anyone. But the point is, they don't have to. They've got people running scared because everyone knows Malleolus is the favorite to win today's election.
Ich arbeite daran. Kann ich helfen?
I doubt it. I mean, the election is today, and you've only just arrived. I just don't think there's enough time for you to do anything.
Das werden wir sehen.
I suppose we will.
Dann,
All right.
so. Bleibt noch. Ich brauche eure Hilfe. Wobei. Okay, reden wir mit. So, erstmal. Wir gehen nochmal.
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Doch, genau das. Ich weiß von eurer.
Well,
Keine Sorgen.
it's your funeral.
Jupp. So, wir erlösen zumindest ihn mal. Das ist der einzige, an den wir im Moment tatsächlich rankommen, scheinbar. Bitte. So. Und weil wir dann gerade dabei sind. Hallo, du. Ja, ist eigentlich egal, wie viel von den. Aber wenn Sentius dafür verantwortlich ist. So weit kann ich gar nicht springen. Nee. Okay, komme ich hier jetzt nochmal hoch, bitte? Offenbar nicht. War doch hier eben drauf. Okay, also ich habe die Möglichkeit, jederzeit noch mehr Dinare zu bekommen, wenn ich dringend welche brauche, um die Bäden nochmal frei zu kaufen. Die mit Gold bespritzte scheint zerquetscht worden zu sein. Fehlen immer noch ein paar Puzzlestücke. So, jetzt könnten wir... Habe ich den falschen Bogen in der Hand, oder? Ah, ich habe den falschen Bogen in der Hand. So. Sentilla weint, ja. Das ist hier wahrscheinlich der... Ich schätze mal, das nützt mir gar nichts, ja. Okay. Wir sind jetzt hier an der... Das ist die Tür hinter dem Tempel. Du bist mir zu selbstsüchtig, Mädchen. Du denkst nur an deine eigene Rettung. Andererseits bist du hier auch schon seit, wer weiß wie lange gefangen. 3 Wochen Minimum. So. Gehen wir hier mal wieder raus. Dann gab es noch eine Sache, die ich gerne überprüfen würde. Hier nämlich konnte man noch irgendwie hochklettern. Ich meine, ich habe den Schlüssel ja inzwischen, aber ich will mal wissen, warum das geht. Ob das einfach nur ein anderer Weg in die Villa ist oder ob man hier noch mal...
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate, is it? Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to be elected your magistrate. And now... and now I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens... And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally...
Guck mal, mir die... Sind das sagen, dass du Galeris vernichtest? Sind das sagen, dass du hochführst? Nee. Desios, nee. Virgil, nee. Kreza, Malellos. Wenn Malellos wird ja Sentius wegen Hochverrat zum Tode verurteilen. Das hier. Wenn wir über... Ach ja, mit Ulpius nochmal reden.
Enjoy the freedom you deserve. And, yes, no more shall you walk on, eggshells, yes. No more shall you walk on eggshells, fearing simply the little breeze of the constant tyrant, Sentius
Okay, wie kriege ich... Komm. So. Achso, das ist die Flasche mit Schierling. Wahrscheinlich. Okay. Was ist das mit Claudia? Wie Grete greift in diese Angelegenheit ein?
You're not supposed to
Verzeihung, können wir reden?
talk.
Was würdet ihr denn von etwas Hilfe mit Maellos halten?
An intriguing proposition. Go on.
Ich glaube nicht, dass Maellos die Person ist, die er behauptet zu sein.
Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. What makes you say that?
Es ist nur so ein Gefühl. Ich hätte gehofft, wir könnten Maellos Wahl gemeinsam
You
herausfinden.
know, I may have the very thing you're looking for. Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got wrong was his own. I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions have lingered in the back of my mind ever since. But wait a minute. Why exactly are you helping me?
Ich möchte ihn zwingen, von der Wahl zurückzukommen. Ich kann es einfach nicht ertragen, wie eine schöne Wein so schlecht behandelt wird. Ich glaube, das wird sie mir nicht abnehmen.
Oh, aren't you charming? I'm quite sure my husband would seethe with impotent rage if he overheard you say that. I love it. It seems our interests are aligned. I imagine knowing his true identity will give me the leverage I need to manage him appropriately. But first, I need you to do something for me.
Was willst du?
I want you to bring me some wine. Just one small urn
Das ist kein
should do
Problem.
it. Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your sweet little pleb head around. So what do you need me to spell out?
Warum wollt ihr Wein?
Let me tell you something about Malleolus. He talks a lot about freedom, but what he doesn't tell you is that he means freedom for men.
Natürlich.
After all I've done for him, counseling him through his entire election campaign, and he had the audacity to lock me in here. He said it was for my own good, and that my drinking was unbecoming of a lady, let alone the wife of a magistrate. I'll show him unbecoming. Tonight, at his victory party, I'm going to get good and merry. And if he tries to discipline me again, I'll threaten to expose his true identity in front of everyone. I am so looking forward to it.
Warum könnt ihr es
You
nicht?
mean, aside from the fact that I'm locked in
Yeah.
this room, and Domitius is right outside the villa, because there's barely any left in the city. In fact, there's only one small urn, as far as I'm aware. And getting it won't be easy.
Warum nicht?
So, you'll help me?
Ich habe hier etwas Wein.
Thank you. Here's the letter.
Brief von Quintius. Ja, natürlich. Liebesbrief, in dem Maellos versehentlich zugibt, dass sein Name Quintius ist. Quintius an seine geliebte Claudia. Eine Zeit lang verzweifelte ich an dem Gedanken, hier für den Rest meines Lebens gefangen zu sein. Aber dann traf ich euch und entdeckte, dass ich, oh, die haben sich erst hier kennengelernt, genau da bin, wo ich sein sollte, solange ich mit euch zusammen bin. Bloße Worte können meine Zuneigung zu euch nicht ausdrücken, und so werde ich euch zu Ehren eine große Geste verbringen. Ich werde Magistrat dieser Stadt werden, damit ich mit euch an meiner Seite mit Weisheit und Stärke regieren kann. Ja, na gut.
Now, perhaps you can tell me who Quintius really is.
Laut diesem Kopfgeldjäger von Kaiser Nero ist er derjenige, der letztes Jahr die Brände in Rom gelegt hat.
What? He's... Oh no. That's... quite a lot more serious than I imagined. I only wanted some leverage over him, not to destroy him. Give me that immediately. Nobody else must know.
Denn hier könnt ihr gern haben. Ich kann jederzeit eine neue Kopie anfertigen.
Another copy? No, 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 no! This can't be happening. What? No. You tricked me, you mendacious little stirkers.
Ich habe euch nicht belogen.
It was a lie of a mission. You were planning this all along and you deliberately concealed it. May Jupiter cut you down.
Ich werde jetzt gehen.
I curse you. I curse your life and mind and memory. May you be unable to walk or eat or drink. May this drag you to the depths. This is outrageous.
Ja, nun. Dann konfrontieren wir mal.
Did you just scale the wall to my villa somehow?
Yeah.
I must remember to have words with that buffoon Domitius.
Mhm.
Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
Ich möchte, dass ihr von der... Also seid ihr Quintius.
My name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else.
Ihr habt ein grünes und ein blaues Auge.
You mean my heterochromia?
Mhm.
I am guilty of nothing more than having different colored eyes.
Na,
And I'm
vielleicht
hardly
nicht.
the only person with the condition. Alexander the Great had it too, as it happens. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler.
Ja, natürlich.
Nothing more.
Ich kann... Ah, ich hab doch den Brief.
Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish.
Mist. Ich dachte, mit dem Brief kann ich's jetzt beweisen.
Unlikely, because it simply isn't.
Was ist lieber das für ein... Ich möchte das ja... Ja, ist egal.
I trust you can see yourself out. Through the...
Ja, okay. Nee, ich hab den Brief doch schon gelesen. Brief von Quintius. Quid pro quo. Ich werde von Jungen namens Karen aus einem Fluss gezogen. Bla bla bla. Vergiss meinen nicht. Hinrichtung. Deinen Verdächtigen. Ein Dorn in der Pfote. Die verschlossene Villa. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, dann reden wir mal mit Equitia. wenn sie da ist. Hier geht's wieder raus. Hallo.
A new face.
Ja.
Are they?
Was ist eure Geschichte? Ja.
Oh my, I suppose usually
Kürze mal wieder ab. Tut mir leid, was hätte ich tun sollen?
but let's
Wie seid ihr hier gelandet?
Karen.
Es ist ein älterer Mann, aber dort, wo ich herkomme, nicht ungewöhnlich. Hä? Achso. Da habe ich schon wieder eine negative Konnotation.
Why is that?
Wegen der Memes? Ja,
So
so etwas in der Art.
you
Was wolltet ihr sagen?
I apologize. Have you spoken with I really
Ihr seid etwas
I know.
zurückhaltend.
I just
Mir ist eventuell bereits ein Muster aufgefallen.
you have?
Manche sprachen von einem
Yes.
Fluss.
What else? That's
Gedächtnislücken.
true. What else?
Begegnung mit einem Fremdling.
Yes. It's as I feared. You mentioned earlier you met
Ihr habt vorhin erwähnt, dass ihr eine junge Frau namens Karen im Wald getroffen habt. Richtig, genau.
I see. And
Ja, genau.
was this
Okay, das hatten
Karen
wir auch schon,
by
den
any
Teil.
chance wearing a hood?
Sie hat einen Kapuzenpullover getragen.
Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths.
Okay, in Ordnung. Wir treffen uns in den Bädern.
Don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
Ja, okay. Okay, Nevia können wir nicht nochmal aufhalten, leider. Aber nicht nochmal in den Palast kommen. Ich suche ja schon nach dir. Equitia wird mir dabei hoffentlich helfen. Kann ich... Warte mal. Eine Sache noch, während Equitia... Hatten wir schon genommen. Wo ist denn die Truhe? Müsste hier nicht eine Truhe sein? Da. Hatten wir auch schon? Okay. Ein sehr gründlicher Looter. Gut, konfrontieren wir nochmal. Dass das mit dem Brief bei Maelus nicht geklappt hat, ärgert mich ein bisschen. Oh, Ulpius.
Shalom.
Oh, Shalom, du bist Jude? Okay. Was ist eure Geschichte?
You mean where am I from and all that? Judea, originally. But when I was a child, I moved to Rome with my family, Romanized my name and spent most of my life in the Jewish district of Trans-Tiberim, across the Tiber from the main city. That's where I was when the fires broke out.
Oh.
Everyone was running toward the river and I, listening to my inner contrarian, ran the other way.
Okay.
Every road leading out of Rome was in chaos, full of people with all their belongings in carts and brigands preying on them. Several hours down the Appian Way, I saw another Jewish family being attacked by 3 opportunists. So I picked up a branch from the side of the road and went to defend them. I can only assume they got the better of me because the next thing I knew, I was waking up in a forest, by a river not far from here, with no memory of how I got
Okay,
there.
hat also auch...
It's strange though, because I still had my purse on me. Why would a robber knock me unconscious and throw me in a river, but not take my coins?
Weil du tot bist. Gut gemacht, euer Leben zu riskieren, um anderen zu helfen. Das ist seltsam. Die meisten waren in Rom, bevor sie im Wald aufgewacht sind. Aber ihr sagt, ihr wart mehrere Stunden entfernt. Ich würde gerne beides machen, aber ich will ihn auch dafür loben.
A lot of good it did me. And that family. I sometimes wonder what happened to them.
Gute Frage. Wisst ihr, wie man hier
I
rauskommt?
don't. But even if I did, I'm not going anywhere. I have unfinished business.
Oh, was hältst du von der goldenen
Well,
Regel?
neither of us have a couple of hours to stand around talking about theology, law, and collective punishment, so I guess you're looking for a pithy summary? You remind me of an old story from my people about Hillel the Elder. He was approached by a Gentile and asked to explain the entire Torah while he stood on one foot. Obliging, he replied, "What is hateful to you, do not do to another. That is the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Go and learn." Of course, what I want to know is, what kind of a god sees a young woman abducted and does nothing about it? Not my god.
Wirklich?
That's for sure.
Gute Frage, aber ich erinnere mal an David, König David, der diverse Frauen gestohlen hat und die Männer von ihnen zum Tode verurteilt
Thanks.
hat. Und sein Gott hat nichts dagegen unternommen. Danke, ich wüsste nur, wem werdet ihr eure Stimme geben?
Sentius, I suppose. I'd have to be insane to vote for Malleolus after what he did to me.
Na gut. Ach, ich habe ja Galerius noch nicht zur
Alright,
Wahl
friend.
antreten. Mist. Vielleicht kann ich das noch korrigieren. So, ich würde gerne... Kann ich... Kann dich hören, ja. Bin schon wieder hier. Irgendwie verlaufe ich mich in dieser Höhle ständig. Taschenlampe. Hier. Sieht aus, als Domitius dass ich frage mich, wo er trainiert hat. Oh, ist es Domitius? Tatsächlich.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives,
Ja.
but they are
Olivia, wir kommen gleich zu dir.
ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
Kann nur jetzt. Okay.
Ah, you're here. I'm so... And,
Kürzen
you're
mal
not
ab.
like any Rome.
So, also, und ihr seid so charmant wie schön. Wir fahren mal das hatten wir versucht und das haben wir versucht. Wir versuchen mal das hier.
What was that? Some kind of joke? If it was, it wasn't fun. I take back what I
Okay,
said.
kann
Let's just
ja nicht
forget that
flirten.
ever happened.
Schade, ich kann sie nicht
All
konfrontieren.
right. See ya. Back again.
Ja, okay.
All right.
Gut, dann,
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the drops of water, and the tree you climb.
so, inzwischen sollten genug Zeit vergangen sein, damit ich mal...
How'd you do? Hello there, friend. May I say, that is a glorious bow you're carrying. Do you mind if I ask where you acquired it?
Ich würde das nicht
Well,
glauben.
I'll take your word for it. But perhaps you'd be interested in selling it to me. I mean, it's not as if you have any use for it down here.
Obwohl den richtigen Bereich, wo ihr euren eigenen bekommen könnt.
Now you're talking, I'm interested. How about 100 denarii? Oh, that's a little excessive, don't you think? It's not the bow of Ulysses we're talking about.
Das ist einfach eine Investition. Ein paar kleine Münzen im Austausch für mehr Reichtum, als ihr euch vorstellen könnt.
All right. But I'm gonna need you to tell me before I pay up.
Dann ist das Geschäft geplatzt.
Wait. Let's not be too hasty, friend. I just want a little assurance that I can trust you, that's all.
Ich habe es geschafft, an Wesen zu diesem Bogen zu kommen. Nun, die goldene Regel verbietet es mir, meine Versprechen einzuhalten oder zu brechen. Ich würde ihm gerne die goldenen Eier geben. Die wurden ihm ja vielleicht, aber ich habe es geschafft an diesem...
I suppose you're right. All right, you drive a hard bargain, but here's your money. Now, the location of that bow.
Das Indianerschrein.
What? But I already knew that, you imbecile. Everyone knows that. I can't take that golden bow because stealing from the goddess in her own shrine would break the golden rule. You promised to tell me where I could get one of my own.
Ihr könnt es nehmen und für den Rest eures Lebens behalten.
What is this? Some kind of joke?
Ihr habt mir gegeben, was ich wollte, und ich habe euch gegeben, was ich versprochen habe.
I don't believe this is happening.
Es hat Spaß gemacht. Das sollten wir bei Zeit wiederholen.
Don't even talk to me.
Okay. Gut, ich kann ihn leider nicht anders bestrafen, aber ein bisschen von seiner eigenen Medizin. So, Lucretia. Ruhe, da ist nur die Behandlungsnotiz drin. Galerius müsste ich... Oh, Rufius macht tatsächlich sauber. Cool. Oh, ihr schon wieder. Gut. Ja, wir müssen noch reden. Aber...
Greetings and salutations.
Mit dir habe ich noch gar nicht geredet, diesem Zyklus.
My friend.
Ja, ist aber auch nichts Neues.
My story?
Wie seid ihr hier gelandet?
A good question.
Warum erzählt ihr mir nicht, woran ihr euch erinnert?
I rented a prestigious villa by the Type.
Ja.
And we began making... Now, I have had this time when I regained...
Fortune smile on you, brother.
Ihr seid also dem Tiber hinuntergeschoben.
I'm lucky I would. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by... I went to find firewood for his campfire. Stumbled across a cave.
Warum habt ihr die Schneiderei? Ja, mehr oder weniger.
It is precisely because of the golden rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more...
Ich nehme an, ja.
Oh, if we all end up as golden statues.
Gut.
Anything you like. I hope that our...
So, ich habe gerade, glaube ich, Galerius hinter mir langlaufen gehört. Er ist aber nicht hier.
Greetings and salutations.
Du bist Ulpios. Vielleicht war doch Ulpios. Okay, wir gehen mal ins Badehaus und reden mit Equitia. Vielleicht finden wir noch was raus. Sie wird euch führen, okay.
You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry.
Ja, ich weiß das schon.
You know what this means.
Wir sitzen in der Unterwelt fest. Das wissen wir aber schon. Das haben wir ja schon vor längerer Zeit rausgefunden.
I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all.
Korrekt.
Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can.
Okay, also sind wir alle tot.
That was my first thought too.
Aber sind wir
In the old
nicht wirklich?
stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know.
Ich denke, wir sind ja nicht wirklich in der Unterwelt, wir sind wirklich in so einer Vorstufe der Unterwelt, wa? Was könnt ihr mir über Charon erzählen?
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks.
Warum habt ihr alle Charon nicht gleich erkannt?
To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again.
Warum gibt es so wenige Menschen in der Unterwelt?
Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river. But that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not.
Ja. Der hat uns irgendwie hergeschickt aus irgendeinem Grund. Wolltet ihr das von mir verheimlichen?
No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help. I promise you.
Gut.
Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it. If we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide.
Okay, dann ist der Typ unten da unter der Stadt wahrscheinlich Pluto selbst. Ihr habt also 2 Möglichkeiten, den Gott der Unterwelt direkt zu kommen, oder mit Hilfe von Prosperina und einem anderen Prosperina. Den geheimen Weg wäre wahrscheinlich da oben durch die Zisterne. Ja, können wir nicht einfach auf dem gleichen Weg entkommen, wie wir hergekommen sind? Nein, das wissen wir ja schon. Wir kommen da ja nicht hoch.
It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft.
Ja.
And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule.
Ja.
We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried.
Mir ist aufgefallen, dass ihr vermeidet, den Gott der Unterwelt beim Namen zu nennen. Warum?
All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril.
Okay. Erzählt mir mehr über die direkte Konfrontation mit ihm.
Shh. Is everyone so blunt where you're from?
Ja.
Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules.
Richtig. Herkules könnte weder die Zeitnamen noch organische Materie in Gold verwandeln.
Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can.
Okay, hilf mir.
Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day.
Nicht.
But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk.
Ach ja, den Obelisken wollte ich mir noch angucken.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again.
Was könnt ihr mir über den okay, deshalb haben wir unten die eine Tafel gefunden und mitnehmen können. Aber jetzt ist die einzige, die ich bisher gefunden habe.
With 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque.
Okay. Wo kann ich die griechische Tafel finden?
I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the forum.
Wo kann ich die ägyptische Tafel finden?
Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident.
Den habe ich überhaupt noch nicht getroffen, bewusst. Ach so, deshalb.
But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern. So perhaps you could talk to her. Or just take a look in his room.
Wo kann ich diese rätselhafte Tafel finden? Ah, Aurelia kann ich nicht fragen, weil ich sie verärgert habe.
Finding the other three will illuminate the way.
Okay, lass uns über etwas anderes reden. Verratet mir mehr über Prosperina, also über die Flucht.
As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage.
Also ist sie vielleicht bereit, gegen ihn zu arbeiten? Es ist furchtbar. Ja, das ist mein erster Gedanke natürlich. Also eigentlich, naja, ich weiß nicht genau, was mein erster Gedanke ist. Aber es ist natürlich furchtbar, aber es würde natürlich ihre Bereitschaft fördern, uns zu helfen.
It is. The gods are a mirror image of mankind,
ja.
As far as cruelty is concerned, I'm afraid. If the stories are true, I imagine she's as desperate to escape as we are. If she really did help Orpheus and Sisyphus, perhaps she'll help us too.
Yep.
The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels?
Hin und wieder höre ich, wie weibliche Statuen mir etwas zuflüstern.
Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then
Ich glaube,
again,
das ist
I
Prosperina,
suppose you were
oder?
worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say?
Es ist stets dieselbe Stimme. Sie ist hilfreich, wenn auch etwas kryptisch.
Fascinating. Perhaps she's a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps...
Ja, ich denke, es ist Prosperina selbst.
Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out?
Ja. Ich habe bereits einen Weg gefunden, zu entkommen.
Truly? Then why are you still here?
Weil das dem Tod nahezu aller Leute hier führen würde, das will ich nicht.
Ah, I see. Then it seems you have made a great sacrifice for all of us, friend. I admire your compassion. Truly. Thank you. But unfortunately, I'm afraid your only other option will be to confront you-know-who.
Na gut. Nee, bereit bin ich nicht, aber...
All right. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone.
Ich werde zuerst mit Livia unterhalten.
In any case, time is of the essence, so you'd best begin. May Fortuna guide you. Although you may not need her with Proserpina on your side.
So, na gut. Okay, das hier unten... ein Relief ist oder sowas. Ein Mosaik habe ich tatsächlich gesehen, aber... Okay, dass das Charan ist und... Ja, okay, habe ich nicht erkannt. Okay, dann hauen wir mal hier ab. Die Priesterin. Ja, mit der Priesterin habe ich gerade geredet. So. Dann ist die Frage, konfrontieren wir Pluto? Oder versuchen wir hier noch ein paar Sachen zu fixen. Zum Beispiel die Schrifttafeln. Wir könnten... Reden mal... Nee, warte. Machen wir gleich. Wir haben gesagt, wir reden zuerst mit Livia. Und das machen wir mal auch. Da bleiben wir mal unserem Wort ein bisschen treu. Auch wenn ich mich sonst immer sehr leicht ablenken lasse an solchen Stellen. Und dann müssen wir aber tatsächlich mal Schluss machen. Die Folge ist nämlich schon wieder zu Ende. Würde ich sagen, das machen wir in der nächsten Folge. Wir gehen mal hier runter schon. Wenn ich den korrekten Weg finde. Natürlich finde ich ihn mal wieder. Doch, finde ich ihn. Hier. Und jetzt hier. Hier. So, dann sind wir hier und reden erstmal mit Livia. Ich danke euch fürs Zuschauen und hoffe, wir sehen uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Bis dahin, macht's gut.
Let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong?
If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die.